everybody, so Donnell's Stitchery here. So I've had a bunch of people ask and everything of how to make certain types of blocks and everything. And so what I want to do is I want to start putting out a video on a weekly basis, as long as my schedule permits, of videos of how to make different types of blocks each week. So I'm gonna start creating a like little series, I guess you could call it, and post them once a week. I'm going to try to post them somewhere between Monday and Wednesday each week, starting today, of how to make different types of blocks. So today's block is going to be the snowball block. And one of the examples I have is a quilt that I done right here. It's a baby quilt that I did. And the blocks are like excuse all the wrinkles. So the blocks are all a snowballed to where there's snowballs in each of the corners. This here was done with a 5-inch square and 2.5-inch cornerstones to create the snowball effect. This one here that I'm going to do today is going to be of a 6.5-inch square, and I'm using some Jack Skellington Nightmare Before Christmas fabric that I have. And then I'm going to snowball it with black fabric. If you hear the birds, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do at times to get them to calm down or quieten down. So this here is going to be a 6.5-inch square finished block. So we're going to start off with a 6.5-inch square. And all we're going to do is put one in each corner. You could do all 4 corners. You could just do 2 corners. I'm going to do all 4 corners of mine. And my cornerstones are 3 inches each. So I'm going to put a pin in them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew from this corner down to this corner. So from here to here. And then if you want to move over, say a 1/2 inch, and sew another line on the outside of that middle line, then you can. And that way there you'll have an extra piece, an extra half square triangle to either create another quilt with or do some other type of effect. I may do that. And I'm using white thread today, just so that way there I can show you guys my stitch line. I'm going to do a 1/4 inch stitch length on my machine, which is at 2.0. And I'm just sewing from corner to corner. Trimming my string. And then I'm going to come back over roughly a 1/2 inch. It does not have to exactly be a 1/2 inch. Just roughly enough to give you a seam allowance on the next one. And then I'm going to come over here and do this one. So I'm going to start doing this on a weekly, not daily, that's too much. A weekly basis. So that way there we can create a little series of just simple little blocks each week. I'll pick one block each week. And I'm going to do like a little recording of it and everything. So that way there you always have it to go back. And you can always build onto that too. This is just a foundation to help you get started. And I mean, you could try and do so much creative stuff with a snowball block. So I'm going to get my fabric scissors out of my handy dandy hiding spot. That way then no one uses my fabric scissors. And I'm just cutting right in between. So these here was like this, and I just cut right in between, so that way then now they each have a seam allowance. And I'm going to do that the same for this one here. Because you see the main piece here. So whenever I pull this black fabric back, that's how it's going to look when it's done. But on all 4 corners. So let me go ahead and get this taken care of. And I'm just finger pressing for right now. I will take it over here and iron it in just a moment once I get the other two sewn on. And I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do the other two corners. And when you try sew on a square or half square or triangular onto the corner of a piece of fabric, and that piece of fabric is going to be your main piece of fabric or whatnot, then that gives it that snowball effect, which is a super fun, easy way to create some fun blocks for a quilt. And as you see, I did not draw any lines. You don't have to. You can eyeball it. You can use, like in this case, it would have been a chalk pencil I would have had to use or something of that form. I don't use friction pens. All I use is like the chalk. I usually use, when I'm marking something, just a normal number 2 pencil. Nothing special. I do occasionally mark with like other marking tools, such as I'll iron the block in half, the square in half. You could use a chalk pencil on dark fabric. Sew Line has a really good chalk pencil that I have used, and I do have it. I just chose not to use it today because these are small enough where I feel I can just eyeball it. With my pen, since I got it stitched down on each end right now, then I don't gotta worry about my fabric moving on me. And if you're not 100% straight, that is completely okay, because as long as your fabric still comes out at 6.5-inch finish, or whatever size it is that you are aiming for, then you are all good to go on that. And now I can go over to the ironing board over here right beside me, my handy dandy little travel ironing board, and I can iron all my pieces. So now I'm just ironing those little blocks that I cut off. That's my little add-on bonus blocks. In just a minute, I could tell you what size that these come out to be. Now I'm sure that it's probably not going to be precise because I didn't really do any measurements. I just eyeballed it and did it wherever I felt like sewing at. So I would still need to trim these up. I don't really do tiny little blocks like this, so but you could probably do this, trying little interest in like a cornerstone, or combine two of them to make like a little flying geese block. Whatever it is that your heart's content. I mean, there is no end to creativity. So here is the finished snowball block. There you go. And this will measure at 6.5. I do believe. Let me grab my ruler and I can tell you for sure. It should still be 6.5 inches. Okay, so if I clean up my edges, it will be 6.5 inches. because some parts is still 6.5, others are slightly larger because my stitch width, let's see, looks like this in here got a little obscured over on this edge here, but overall it is still 6.5 inches, so I would just need to clean that up. And then, since I trimmed out those corners, made a little extra piece, then we have this here where we could actually create a whole nother like little block if we wanted, where we could try and do it like this, or we could do a couple going opposite directions, whatever we want to do. I mean, there is no rules in the game of quilting. So there you go. See, we got a cute little hourglass block right there you could do. And these are about, once I square them up, it would be roughly about 2 inches. Not a size I would normally mess with too much, but you never know. But anyway, there is the adorable, super cute Nightmare Before Christmas Jack Skellington Snowball block. And give it a whirl. Play with the fabrics. You never know what you'll come up with. And then I'll be posting an update later this week, probably around Thursday, once I decide what block I'll be doing next week. If you have any questions or a block that you would like to see done, put it in the description box below. Let me know what your thoughts are as far as if you like this block or what other blocks that you would like to do. I'm going to create a Google form to start attaching to the description box of each one of these videos. There won't be one in this one, but starting next week there will be one. So that way there you can fill it out and let me know what blocks you would want to do. Or what, not do, but what blocks you would like me to do for you so that way you can see how they're done. And if you have any questions, post in the comments. Let me know what blocks you would like to see in the future, as well as if you have any questions regarding this, and I can be able to help clarify them for you. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Make sure you smile. You never know whose day you might change by a simple smile gesture. Thanks. Bye.